It is a historic day in the world of college football, as we will soon, in just a few hours, know the teams that will battle in the first ever playoff for the national championship. Right now, a committee is debating casting secret ballots on who those 4 teams will be. This morning, after a weekend of some of the biggest touchdowns.
Touchdown! Green to the end zone. Touchdown.
Another season of college football is over.
30-0.
And now it's selection day, with these top teams anxiously awaiting the 12:45 announcement of the 4 schools slated to play in the first ever college football playoff. This selection committee of 12, with members such as former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and former Rhodes Scholar and USC Director of Athletics Pat Hayden, watching film and scouring stats here in Selection Central since the start of Conference Championship weekend Friday night.
We look a lot of hard data, but then in the end, our votes are somewhat subjective. It's what we believe the best teams are.
Some selection criteria includes a team's strength of schedule, head-to-head competition, and comparison of results against common opponents. Just hours ago, Alabama, Oregon, TCU, and Florida State held the top spots, but the committee has the final say in who will compete to raise this new trophy in January.
Well, I hope that the majority of college football fans across the country feel like we got it right and understood why we arrived at our top 4 as we did.
And for more on this, we're going to bring in ESPN college football analyst and former Bachelor, Jesse Palmer. Jesse, thanks for joining us this morning. First and foremost, the selection committee, they say this is a subjective process. So who will those 4 teams be?
If I was on the selection committee, I would have Alabama 1, Oregon 2, Florida State 3. I would have Baylor at number 4. They came into the weekend number 6, but with their win against Kansas State, I would have them leapfrog TCU and Ohio State. That would make a lot of noise.
So they're going to leapfrog TCU and Ohio State, who had a dominant performance, even getting an endorsement tweet from LeBron James himself. Those teams are going to be left out.
If my predictions hold true. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but if that's the case, TCU and Ohio State, they're going to be upset, and rightfully so. Ohio State won 13 games. They put up 59 points in a conference title game against Wisconsin with their 3rd-string quarterback, and they won the Big Ten championship, but they had the worst loss of the 3 teams we're comparing. They lost to Virginia Tech, and I don't think the Big Ten's as good a conference as the Big 12. TCU, meanwhile, they shared the Big 12 title, with Baylor, but they lost the head-to-head. I think that's going to be big when it comes down to it. But no matter who finishes 5 or 6 after today, they're going to be really upset, and they're going to have reason.
There's going to be a little bit of controversy. Final question for you. Who's going to be hoisting that national championship trophy come January 12th?
I think it's going to be Alabama. I think they're the most complete team on offense, defense, and special teams. I think they're the most talented team, top to bottom. They've got a lot of depth, and we're in the midst of a dynasty with head coach Nick Saban. They're looking for their 4th national championship in the last 6 years.
Okay, college football fans, send those angry tweets his way, okay? And don't miss the college football playoff selection show coming up at 12:30 Eastern on our sister network, ESPN. Jesse Palmer, thanks for joining us this morning. Dan?
And Jesse, you don't have to wait long for the angry tweets. Ron Claiborne over here was jumping out of his chair in anger, disagreeing with you.
I'm running out. We got to talk about this.
I'm running out.
Florida State shouldn't be in there. You know that. You know that.
All right, break it up, break it up, break it up.